You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Thursday, May 21st. And before we begin our official newscast, we would like to give our condolences to Kyle Bush's family. The 41-year-old race car driver unfortunately succumbed to unreported injuries today. His family acknowledged that he was hospitalized earlier in the morning, and he unfortunately passed this afternoon, and we will bring you more details as they become available. And in our other top story today, a two-vehicle accident in Pahrump sends one person to the hospital with injuries.
A two-vehicle crash in central Pahrump sent one person to the hospital Thursday afternoon. At approximately 12 p.m. on May 21st, dispatch received reports of an injury accident near the intersection of State Route 160 and Acoma Avenue. When first responders arrived on scene, they found a gray Jeep and a silver Nissan involved in the crash. The silver Nissan came to rest in the parking lot of Nevada Realty, while the Jeep stopped in the center lane of State Route 160. According to Nevada Highway Patrol, the driver of the Nissan was traveling northbound on State Route 160 when the Jeep allegedly pulled out from Calvada Boulevard, causing the Nissan to strike the passenger side of the vehicle. The impact caused the Nissan to lose control before coming to rest in the nearby parking lot. One person was transported to Desert View Hospital by Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue for further observation. Traffic in the area was slowed while troopers investigated the crash and crews worked to clear the roadway.
Nicholas Escobar Perez is accused of lewdness with a minor under 14 years old. He appears in a Pahrump news and courtroom. Samantha Roberts reports.
Nicholas Escobar Perez appeared in Judge Vito's courtroom for his arraignment today, May 21st. Perez is accused of forcing a 7-year-old child to masturbate him.
The allegations indicate that he touched a 7-year-old and had them masturbate him. The allegations further go on to state that he is currently sleeping with a 5-year-old that the 7-year-old is concerned about.
According to the DA, the defendant allegedly told the 7-year-old child, "Why did you tell? I am going to go to jail."
The defendant then responded that, "Why did you tell? I'm going to go to jail." That's on page 4 or 5 of the declarations.
Also mentioned in the documents, the defendant allegedly told the child, "Why didn't you tell them you were joking?"
On page 4 or 5, the reference to the victim reporting that Mr. Escobar Perez said, quote, "Why didn't you just tell them you were joking?"
As the case stands, Escobar Perez faces 10 years to life in prison. He is being held on $250,000 cash bail or $500,000 cash and bond, and is expected back in court on May 26th.
Christopher and Karen White are also arraigned in court in a Pahrump Justice courtroom. And new unrelated charges, there are previous residential burglary charges and more. They were most recently arrested earlier in May. Christy Willis reports.
On Thursday, May 21st, Christopher White and Catherine White appeared for arraignment in front of Judge Kirk Vito in Pahrump Justice Court. The pair are currently facing charges including residential burglary, possession of stolen property, and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. According to court records, their most recent arrest took place on Friday, May 15th. Both defendants already have a separate case pending in district court and returned to court today for proceedings connected to the newer allegations. During the hearing, the court formally appointed attorneys for both individuals. Catherine White was assigned attorney Mr. Gibson, who is already representing her in her district court case. Christopher White was assigned attorney Mr. Percival, who is likewise representing him in both matters moving forward. Judge Vito scheduled a preliminary hearing for June 2nd at 9 a.m., where prosecutors are expected to present evidence related to the charges. In addition, both Christopher and Catherine White are scheduled to appear again on June 15th at 9 a.m. in connection with similar allegations in district court. At this time, both defendants remain in custody at the Nye County Detention Center and are being held without bail, pending further court proceedings. News 25 will continue to monitor this developing case and will provide updates as additional information becomes available through the court proceedings.
Legislation known as Stopping Indoctrination and Protecting Kids, that act passes the House of Representatives. Jillian Tuck has more.
The U.S. House of Representatives has passed legislation aimed at restricting the use of federal education funding for schools that implement certain gender identity policies. The bill, known as Stop Indoctrination and Protecting Kids Act, or H.R. 2616, has passed on a 217 to 198 vote, with 8 Democrats joining Republicans in support of the measures.
On this vote, the yeas are 217, the nays are 198. The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Under the proposal legislation, federally funded elementary schools would be required to obtain explicit parent consent before changing the student's pronouns, preferred name, or gender marks in school records. The bill would also require parental permission before students are allowed to use bathrooms, locker rooms, or other sex-based facilities that do not align with their sex assigned at birth. In addition, the legislation would prohibit schools from using Federal Elementary and Secondary Education Act funding to teach or promote concepts related to what the bill describes as gender ideology. Supporters of the bill state strengthens parental rights and ensures families remain informed about decisions involving their children at school. Opponents argued the measures could place vulnerable students at risk by forcing schools to disclose sensitive information to parents, including in situations where students may not feel safe at home. The legislation now heads to the U.S. Senate, where the future remains uncertain.
Don't grab that remote. News 25 will be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, tensions run high as parents, teachers, and community members packed the school district board meeting to oppose proposed budget cuts tied to the district's reported $9 million deficit. After nearly 3 hours of public comments and hours of written comments as well, the school board votes 6-1 in opposition to both proposals, A and B.
On Wednesday, May 20th, the school district board met to discuss the district's projected budget deficit for the 2026-2027 school year. During the meeting, board members also recognized the Trojan girls varsity softball team following their recent state championship victory. The evening began with public comment, which lasted nearly 3 hours, as parents, teachers, staff members, and community groups voiced concerns over the district's proposed budget cuts. Many of those who spoke said they opposed reductions that would directly impact teachers and on-site staff, arguing instead that cuts should focus more heavily on administrative positions and district-level spending. Community members also expressed concerns about larger class sizes, the possible loss of educational programs, and the long-term impact the proposed cuts could have on students across the district. News 25 also spoke with one individual who attended the meeting but did not get the opportunity to speak during public comment.
Amazing progress he has made with all of her teachings. So please do not do that to us.
So as a mother and a grandmother, this is vital to your family.
Oh, absolutely. Him being 11 and being autistic and not verbal, like he says mom, he says dad, he says dude, but he does not communicate whatsoever. So the fact that he's willing to use his communication tablet, and this teacher has brought that out in him. We didn't know he could write his name. We didn't know he could go through index cards and find his name. He can count, he can read with the story, with the communication tablet. His communication tablet's everything. I guess part of the school year it was out because they needed to update it. So he didn't have any type of communication, any way to communicate with my daughter or anything.
When we asked what changes she believes should be made and whether teachers should be protected from proposal cuts, especially since her grandchild has a homebound teacher, this is what she replied.
Had it brought up to me that they could cut the week to 4 days. That would save a whole lot of money. Transportation, all that wouldn't be needed for all 5 days. Everybody take a budget cut. All the teachers. That way the vital ones aren't lost. You know, I didn't realize that they were wanting to get rid of hall monitors and stuff too. Those are the people that deal with the problem kids. You know, I don't know. The fact that they're willing to cut this teacher that's so vital to my grandson. Like, he's 11. He does not talk. Like, he needs these services. And Nye County really lacks in those kind of services for autism anyways. So, yeah.
I thank you for talking with us.
Yeah,
thank you.
Following the discussion, the board voted in opposition of both proposals A and B. District officials say the school district is currently facing a reported $8.5 million budget deficit. The next school board meeting is scheduled for June 2nd at 4:30 p.m. KPVM will continue to follow the developing story and will provide updates as more information becomes available.
And go Knights go! VGK opened the Western Conference Finals by holding off the Colorado Avalanche 4-2. Mikey Ruhan slapshots that and more now.
Count on leadership that puts your vote first. A commitment to secure elections with zero tolerance for voter fraud in Nye County. Because every legal vote should count, and only legal voters should count. Bringing back essential services like notary and passports while modernizing outreach so every resident stays informed. Faster, more efficient election results, stronger voter ID standards, and accurate, timely public records you can trust. Reliable, transparent, accountable. Early voting runs May 23rd through June 5th. Make your voice heard and count on integrity. Paid for by Caleb Ball for Nye County Clerk.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. Dylan Coughlin scored his first playoff goal to get Vegas rolling. Carter Hart made 36 saves and the Golden Knights opened the Western Conference Final by holding off the Colorado Avalanche 4-2 Wednesday night. Apparently the Knights decided altitude sickness is only for tourists. Vegas now leads the series 1-0. And suddenly, Colorado fans are realizing Rocky Mountain High was not supposed to describe their blood pressure. Game 2 is Friday night in Denver. The world's largest gymnastics event is flipping its way to Las Vegas. USA Gymnastics announced Las Vegas will host the World Gymnastrada in 2031, bringing more than 20,000 athletes from over 50 countries to town. The Las Vegas Aviators dropped a nail-biter to the Albuquerque Isotopes 6-5 Wednesday night. Another rematch is set for tonight at 7:05. At this point, the bullpen may want frequent flyer miles for all the close games. And Flavor Flav is bringing celebration of women's sports to the Las Vegas Strip. Clark County approved She's Got Game weekend, which includes a July 16th parade from Bellagio down to Toshiba Plaza. Flavor Flav says the event will celebrate women athletes. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thanks so much, Mikey, and stay tuned. More electrifying news from News 25 after this break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Well, this May is Electrical Safety Month, so Valley Electric Association is sharing some very important safety tips from CFL Charlie and LED Lucy. Take it away.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
Have you ever thought of all the ways you use electricity? We depend on electricity to light our homes, charge our phones and computers, wash our clothes. It powers our lives. But electricity can also be dangerous, even deadly, when used the wrong way. Keep these electrical safety tips in mind to avoid accidents and injuries. Electricity and liquids do not mix. Never place electronics and appliances near water, like next to the sink or the tub. This tip applies to gaming equipment too. Never place a drink near your gaming console. Spills could result in electric shock. Never climb trees near power lines and electrical equipment. Same goes for kites and drones. Before you fly them, make sure you're far away from any overhead power lines. Never pull a plug from an electrical outlet by its cord. Pull from the plug to avoid potential shock, or ask an adult to help you. Going for a swim? Remember, never swim during stormy weather. If you hear thunder, immediately exit the pool until the storm has passed. These are just a few tips to keep in mind. Remember, electricity is amazing stuff, but you should always play it safe. If you're not sure about something, ask an adult. Want more tips? We're here to help. Contact us to learn more about electrical safety.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a look outside through our Lerner and Rowe weather cam at this beautiful May day. We have just a couple of scattered clouds up in the atmosphere and the winds have calmed down. We'll take a look at where that weather roller coaster temperature is taking us next.
Weather is sponsored by the Nevada Dairy Farmers and the Dairy Council of Nevada, sharing the love of all things dairy. Celebrate the best moments with milk. Milk the moment. And the weather is also brought to you by the Ponderosa Dairy, Nevada's largest dairy, fresh from our farm to your table.
Hello, it's Romy here. Let's take a look at our forecast for our surrounding areas. Fernley with a high of 82 and a low of 55. Fallon will be at 83 with a low of 52. Carson City a high of 80 degrees. Tonopah 76. Goldfield with a high of 79. Beatty with a high of 90. Amargosa and Las Vegas twinning with a high of 94. And Death Valley at 104 degrees. Currently here in Pahrump, it is 90 degrees outside. The high today was 92 degrees. Winds coming from the southwest at 7 miles per hour, humidity at 7%, and the sunrise was at 5:33 a.m. this morning. Tonight, the sunset will be at 7:48 p.m., humidity at 12%, the winds coming from the southeast at 7 miles per hour, and the low will be 63 degrees. Now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. On Friday, we're looking at a high of 93 with a low of 65. Saturday, the same with a high of 93 and a low of 65. Sunday and Monday will be twinning as well with highs of 92 and lows of 64. Tuesday, it's going to be getting a little windy with winds of up to 18 miles per hour, a high of 86 and a low of 56. Wednesday, it's going to be cooling down with a high of 79 and a low of 55. And Thursday, a high of 81 and a low of 55. And that was the weather. Now back to the desk.
Thanks so much, Romy. And everyone, please enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. It looks like the weather will be cooperating, so be sure to find some shade if you're going to be outdoors. And remember to drink plenty of water and stay hydrated out there. Have fun, everyone. Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we'll see you on the air next newscast. Good night.